They've been chasing them down. That's been a solid effort by them.
Robinson is out there with Terrence Ross. Then there's Maurice Spates. Then there's Lewis. And it's Ontich in at the 5. They're the group that Portland Trailblazers will start the second quarter with. 5 to shoot. Here's McDermott. And the shot falls short this time.
You know, they haven't been able to open up a big lead, but the rebounds are starting to add up for them. They may be able to pull away a little bit.
Yeah, they've been doing the dirty work inside, Steve, playing a very tough brand of basketball. Now, that's what I'm talking about. That's how you do it. Find a gap in the defense and attack that rim with force.
He is so good at doing just that.
Maybe as good as anybody. Just so athletic and strong.
Now, here's Exum. Guarded by Robinson. Here's McDermott. The shot is off. And it's Portland the other way.
You can look at a number of areas where the Blazers improved last season. Really an outstanding year all the way around. But one area they still had trouble with was their depth. That's an area they'll look to shore up going forward.
Spates sets a screen. Shot off the pick. And Portland again with the bucket.
The screenplay worked ideally there, and I'm not talking about the screenplay you see in a movie theater. Gave him more than enough room to get that shot off.
Exum kicks to Franklin. He dishes it to Bynum. Feeds it to Exum. And he dunks it down.
Grown man's power flush with the long hang on the rim at the end of it.
Clark, that could be a catalyst for him.
I think you're right.
Well, we've seen these kind of plays get them going in the past, that's for sure.
Spates sets a screen. Wide open. Good, and the assist goes to Robinson. Spates has got the lead up to 8 now for Portland. Steve, depth definitely something Portland didn't feel comfortable with last year. Last in the league in bench minutes played.
And by a wide margin. And not surprisingly, when they were also last in bench scoring. Hard to tell which caused the other, but certainly they didn't feel as comfortable as they could have with heavy minutes from their reserves.
Robinson with it. Now defended by McDermott. Here's Ontich. Spates the pass to Robinson. Quarter number 2, around 3 minutes gone by. Ross dishes to Robinson. He kicks to Ontich. Lewis outside. Robinson for 3. The feed now to Ross. Dishes to Robinson. Passes it to Lewis. Goes up again. Some solid D here from Bynum. Closing in on 4 minutes played here in the second quarter. The lead pass was put in just the right spot. Bynum's got his first bucket in this one.
Look at the points in the paint, the inside game. It's been very one-sided here for a while now.
Well, the defense just hasn't been physical enough at the rim. I mean, 8 of their last 10 points have come from the paint.
Robinson goes in, and Ontich gets it to go.
I like the way they're working the ball inside, because when you do that, you get higher percentage shots, and typically good things happen.
Exum with it. Robinson on him. McDermott, no one around him. Hits the three-point lob. McDermott's got himself on the board with 3 there.
Dante Exum, a long, athletic combo guard out of Australia. His father came from the U.S. He was a teammate in North Carolina with Michael Jordan and went to Australia to play professionally for a number of years. That's why Dante grew up down under.
Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Well, thank you, Kevin. There are a lot of questions as to how Dante Exum will develop as a player. He has the skill to be a two-guard, but grew up playing point guard. He would prefer the point, saying that's the position that has got me here. That's what I want to be going forward. We'll see if the coaches agree, Kevin.
We'll see how it plays out. Thanks, Doris. Timeout called, the Rockets.
One more time. Give it up for your...
And Dante Exum entering the NBA directly out of high school. He led his team to the national title in Australia in mid-January.
It's a slightly different season schedule in Australia, so he spent about 6 months in the U.S. training for the NBA, basically working on his shot and putting the finishing touches on his still very green game.
Here's Copeland. The three-pointer, no good.
Well defended that time. He's a shooter that the defense has to close down on quickly when he's ready to pull that trigger. You've got to be in his face and not give him any space.
And you can see they recognize that, Clark. I mean, they are not going to give him that look.
Lowry kicks to Copeland. Fires from deep. And Oladipo pulls it down. Oladipo's got his third rebound tonight.
They've been the glass eaters today, guys. A ton of effort out of them down low.
And they've needed every one of those rebounds. I think that's what's put them in front here.
And it's the Rockets on the break. And Fareed comes to help. So it's the Rockets now. Down to 5 on the shot clock. A shot by Lowry. Wide open.
Kyle Lowry.
Sinks the triple. Lowry's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Marshall passes to George. Kicks to Marshall. He lobs up the alley-oop pass.
Oh, George.
And George with this stuff.
And the lead just grows on that ridiculous offensive sequence.
You know, Clark, that dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop.
Yeah, that just added more to it.
Yeah, what a beautiful connection on that play.
Pass to Bynum. Shoots from 14. Bank shot, no good.
He's been trying to add that mid-range shot to his arsenal, but it still isn't there.
After 2-year absence from the playoffs, the Portland Trail Blazers able to get back into it last year to face Houston in the 4-5 seeded matchup.
And they jockeyed as hard as they could to get that home court advantage, but just couldn't quite grab hold of it. Still, they were able to get by a very tough Houston team in round 1.
The assist by Victor Oladipo.
Tell you what, he can do a lot more damage to that rim than that when he wants to.
And you know, Clark, with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one.
Me too.
Well, I think he did plenty of damage anyway. It was only with one hand, but he threw it down pretty hard.
Lowry from outside. Moves back up. The dish to Copeland. He feeds it to Bynum. Second chance shot. Pekovic with the rebound. Pekovic has got his 4th rebound in this one.
Get by Houston with an incredible shot with that, but you know, things were different when they ran into the machine known as the San Antonio Spurs in the second round.
Rockets trail by 9. Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
Copeland. Here's Lowry. He feeds it to Copeland. There's a good screen. Pass to Bynum. Ball's knocked loose. And out of bounds as the Trailblazers gain possession.
Rockets substitution.
And as you said about Portland, they just couldn't deal with the Spurs over the course of a series and ended up out after the second round. Still, a really nice showing from a young team with a lot of upside.
Houston making a switch here. Anderson Varejau's checked in for Bynum. Ibaka comes in for Moniunas. Tayshaun Prince is checked in for McDermott. And it's Avery Bradley in for Chris Copeland. And there's the pass to Varejao. He dishes it to Ibaka. Feeds it to Varejao. They need this one. That's good. Prince has got his first basket. Trailblazers leading by 7. The shot and game clock separated by 4. Marshall with it. Lowry picks him up. George against Ibaka. George dishes to Oladipo. From the line. A nice shot by George. George has got 10.
You know, he's got a quick trigger from that range when he senses that the defense has backed off.
And we've reached halftime in this one. Trailblazers lead by 9. Time now for the halftime break, with the third quarter soon to follow right here.